Alright, now that we're back from our little tutorial break, the next thing we need to do is to make something to display what we've just calculated. So, let's make a text view under the button that says, that has a new string. It's going to say answer. New, and now this new r.string is going to be ans. Alright. Now, we're going to need to edit the text of this button to say, let's just say calculate. Calculate r.string.calc. Now, so what we have here is the general layout of what our app is going to look like. Now, we need to change some things in the coding point that will. Oh, you know what I forgot? Forgot to add an ID this answer text view. Now this is going to be answer txt. Now, so what I was saying is that we need to add something for this button to do. So double click on the button. Should take you in here. Now, before this little slash and the close, what you gotta do is push enter, type in Android dot on click. My bad. Colon on click, and it should show up here for you. Equals, do the function. Let's just say calculate. We're gonna define what calculate does later. Now, so this should be good. So, assuming that this is how you like it, we're going to go into the Package Explorer here. In First App, SRC, click on the little arrow, expand that, expand this, double click on main activity.java or whatever you named your main activity. Now, so let me explain what this does. So this is called a class. This class is called main activity. It extends what the Android activity does. Now, this onCreate method is run every time the app starts. So what it does is it loads the saved instance state and then sets what the app looks like based on this layout that we just made here. So go back to this. Now this creates an options menu for you, and pretty much it inflates the menu like a deflated balloon being inflated, and lets you create a options menu. Now, we don't need to worry about this. So, what we're going to do is type in public, because we want the layout to be able to access this. Public void calculate, spelled and capitalized, the exact same as what we named what this button does in our layout. So take that, put it into here. Now open parentheses, view, capital V, lowercase v, v. Alright, now open squiggly brace, enter, and it should insert a close squiggly brace. Now hover above this underlined view, click import view. Alright, so what we just did there was we gave this calculate function that the button called in our layout something to do, and it gets the view of the button right here. So if we click on this, it will take a screenshot of this button, basically, and pass it along to this calculate function here. Now we need to tell this what to do. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get these text boxes right here. We are going to get these into our code. So the first one, its ID is num1 text. Now we're going to need to create a new edit text, which is what that is called, and we're going to name this number1 text equals parentheses edit text find view by ID, open parentheses, capital R, dot, ID, all lowercase, dot, okay. Well, it looks like since we didn't save this, it's not showing up. So what we're going to need to do is click this little multiple floppy disk button. That'll save all of them. Click back in here, backspace, and push dot again, and it should show up. Da, 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 da. It's going to be called number1 text, and we need to end the line with a semicolon. Now make sure you type in the capitals the exact same as I did here. Capital F, or lowercase f for find, capital V for view, capital B for by, and capital I for ID. Now I need to get a drink, so I'll pause. Alright, I'm back. Now, so hover above the red squigglies here and do the same thing that you did before. Import edit text. This should have yellow squigglies under it. That means that it's not used yet. So I'm going to explain this line for you. So in Java, the programming language of Android, if you have a name of a type of object, in this case, a text box or edit text, in parentheses, and then you multiply that, which is basically what this is doing, by the text or the text box that you get from this ID that you already said, that will give you an edit text or a text box called this. Alrighty, so we are going to copy that line, paste it, and change this to number 2, and change this to number 2. Now we just got the other text box. Isn't that easy? Alright, so what are we going to do with this? Now, so the first thing that we need to do is get the integer or the number that is inputted into the first and second text box. To do this, we're going to make a new integer, calling it text num1 and num2, semicolon. First thing that we're going to do is click before the comma here and type in equals. Now this is going to get kind of complex here for a second, but I'll explain it. Integer, capital I, dot, parse, int. Now we're going to type in these parentheses that it just gave us, number1 text dot get text. Enter. Now, this will come up with an error because right now we're getting the text, not the string of letters. So, you need to type in dot to string, and that will convert it to something that this can handle. So let's select from the parentheses all the way back to integer, or the equal sign. Copy that, put it right here, change this to number 2, and we're good. Alright, so now I'll explain this for you. I'll save all here, and I'll explain this entire line. So we're going to call the integer class, which is the type of object that we're using, and we're going to find the integer inside of the text inside of or from the text box from the first number. Then we just did the same thing here, and we have our numbers from the text boxes. They're called num1 and num2. So, what are we going to do with these numbers? How about let's add them? Alright, so let's make a new integer, new number, that will store what the final answer, so ants for short, of num1 plus num2. Grady. That's not a word. Let's just say great. Alright. So, now we have num1. Sorry. Now we have the answer of those two numbers being added together. So, what do we need to do? We need to change what the answer text view here says to be answer is ants. So we need to get the answer text view like we did here and assign the text to be ants. So text view, ooh, that's not right. Text view with the first T and the first V being capitalized. Answer equals text view find lowercase capital V view find view capital by capital ID parenthesis r dot ID dot answer text. Same basic concept as before, but we need to import the text view, just like we did before with the edit text. Now this changes what we find here to a text view called answer. So we need to set the text of answer to be quotation marks, because the quotation marks tells it that this is what the text is going to say, to be answer colon space quotation mark plus ants dot to string of letters. Alright, here we go. Now, what this will do is we'll set the text, set what the text view answer says to answer plus the answer to a string of letters. Alright, so let's test to see if this works. To do that, we click the arrow here and we choose Android application, save it, and wait for the Android emulator